Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Erothian Unofficial Spoiler Podcast. We are in Season 2, Episode 12. As usual, I am Fansexel, and here with me today is...
Sensei Steve, get the chaos in the Discord.
Yeah, I completely forgot how I opened this episode.
Must have been a week then. Unfortunately with us, we had no Regicide. We had a little bit of an enduring update, but that seems to have bugged. So
you were saying he said no spoilers, I saw it.
Yeah, it said no spoilers, so okay. If you're in certain chats, you'll notice what's already been spoiled. So we don't have a Regicide, we have half an In-Clime, and we have full Warmonger this time. So this will be a quick show.
Half an In-Clime? Steve, what do you mean? It was a 4-hour episode. There's no way it could possibly been half an episode.
1/3 of an episode, then.
Yeah, we're not taking notes on inventory management. We don't even take notes on all the roles for Warmonger. There's no way in hell I'm taking notes on who has what in the inventory.
Told you so, Scott. Told you we weren't doing that. But we can get into a little bit more as to why we're not when we come to it, because we're starting with Warmonger today.
Yeah. You know, Warmonger, shout-outs to Cell. You know, he tries. The roles just weren't with him in the beginning of this episode.
Too many ones.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone roll ones that many times back to back.
Oh, now you have, thanks to Cell. So his advisor, his different. Was it actually a diplomat or was it just an emissary? I think it was an emissary. But yeah, they had challenged someone from the Broken Chain to an honor duel. Because of all the shit they caused, and that's the thing. And they got soundly beaten by a monk. With stunning blows, flurry of blows, and grappling. And then was offered, okay, die with honor or live in shame. And he chose live in shame after declaring an honor duel. Huh.
Well, he gave a reason to it. It was he was saying that Tessel's clan doesn't really like the fight to the death thing. You know, even though he did ask for an honor duel, but he still said Tessel doesn't like that kind of thing. So
yeah, and earned the thorough disappointment of everyone in the room, including Nick.
I mean, he was very well, let's say Naryn was upset that he asked for this duel and then didn't, you know, offer his life in defeat. However, he was nice enough to offer Shoka the ability to become, like, I guess it's emissary or like ambassador. I wrote ambassador in the notes, but to the Hafue and Eldamar.
I mean, it might have been a slower death.
Well, he declined anyway, so
yeah, he really shouldn't have been allowed to get all the way back to his clan. Then we finally got into the rest of next events roles after that little interruption.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was an interruption.
Yeah. So we had interesting bit of land dispute where I think my response when I first heard was they should have fucking built the fences properly. As you say, I know a couple of people like that from where I lived out rural, so where they have their stock go onto other people's territory, other people's land, and graze and cause problems like that sort of thing. And this sort of story is not too unfamiliar to me.
Yeah.
So we have a certain Kamatory XP wandered off somewhere and Densho people killed it and ate it and took it as a trophy. And the owners are pissed because no, this is ours. 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 And violence is going to spark and that sort of thing. And Nick had Desrox, I believe, as counselor, popping on that one.
Yeah, there were a couple of opinions. Most of them are like, "Hey, let's find them because I believe our clan more than I believe Densho," type things. And Tora actually spoke up, which was interesting, and she was like, "Look, we find out who did it, who's at fault, and if it was Densho, we kill them, and if it was your side, well, it's your fault." So.
That's fair. And then we had a nice little best of 3 die 100 rolls where I think Jake rolled a 10 and a 4 for 2 of them.
Yeah, he stood no chance.
And somehow Nick got the high rolls this week. Because I believe this event ended up being like a success or a critical success. Was it? It was like I think it was just a success. This one, because Salem got a critical success. But yeah, no, it is actually rolling really high this show. So it ended up being it was actually Densho's fault. So there's a couple less crook.
Yeah, they yeah, Densho seemed to deal with that quite swiftly, actually.
I mean, they're having trouble with the shadow side of things, and they don't want to start trouble with the freaking Kuchibashi side of things as well. Got to deal with them that quickly.
But I mean, it was said in like the prelude, not the prelude, the build up to this, like they were both prominent families. So Densho dealing with them that swiftly is kind of like, hey man, they were funding Densho, but yeah.
Yeah, well, them's the rules.
Those are the rules. If only real governments work like that, you know.
Stock rustlers and all that sort of shit, yeah. And then we have certain events where we have something falling from the sky and hills east of capital of Naren's little territory there. And Rayon had been tracking it for a while, and I believe Tonscrete is the one that got the crystals for him. Then they had to investigate what the crystals actually did.
Yep.
And this was my event that I made, and
that's cool.
Surprised because according to the guy who made the other event, Dasrox was a hard option. And the option he chose by going Rayon was actually also a hard option on my side because it was originally going to be he's just going to go straight doing it himself without any help or anything like that. I was making all the options. We had some sort of help easier, and selling it was really easy.
Yeah.
And and the only other hard one was if they're using Spy Master, but they weren't using the Spy Master. So.
Okay.
And that was because they were doing something on top of finding out what it was. But yeah, he rolled a crit success on this one, and he has 4 crystals that are basically super extend the durations of spells.
Yeah. With that help.
Though one of them's unfortunately Unseen Servant and lasts for 3 months.
Yeah, with the help of Lenny, they figured that out. But it's a pretty interesting event. At first, when he first started describing it, I thought that this might be the origin of those recharge crystals that they were describing until we figured out what they were. And I was like, the effect is completely different. So
I didn't choose the effect of anything. I just gave the description of the crystals. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I felt like Scott would make a better decision as to what the heck to actually make it do.
No, I'm just saying, like when we found out When he was describing the event originally, before we actually figured out what they were, I thought they were the what's his name, Flint, the crystals that Flint is famous for.
Yeah, that's exploding ones.
Yeah, the exploding ones.
Yeah, I believe those ones also found underground in Daligus, and also somewhere in India too. I hope that the situation that Regicide caused didn't make those go haywire too. That's all I'm going to say. But I believe that was all for Nick, and it's Densho next.
We started off with Jake being able to figure out what his boon was supposed to be from last time. The experimental weapon cache is what he ended up finding. He has Akram go over the plans due to, I forget what his focus was. It was religious archaeology or something like that.
Yeah, it was archaeology.
Yeah, so
I think it was divine archaeology or something like that.
Divine archaeology, that's what it is. Not religious.
There's definitely something religious.
Yeah, it's divine archaeology, I think it was. But he ended up finding out that it was from, I think it was a couple hordes ago, right? The weapons were designed for, and they ended up giving those weapons to Drummond so that he is able to study them and make use of them in hopes of returns for weapons for their clan. But we'll see. Is, I think, based off of what happened at the end, that plan might get changed. I don't know.
Yeah, nice. Then we got on to
the rushes part.
Yeah.
Oh man. This I thought was going to play out slightly differently, but it actually went really well for Jake, who rolled pretty decently this time. So the situation being the Sarush comes to Varix with concerns about the taxes being so high and how the other clans around him, they all seem to be paying a lot less, even with Tessel's reputation as a slave master inside of Densho. They're like, if these guys are slaves, how come they're paying less taxes than we are?
Simple answer to that, they're not getting paid.
I did think it was funny when I forget. Oh, Kiyoshi. When Varix asked Kiyoshi if Kuchibashi would accept the Densho members who would end up leaving because the taxes are too high, and he was like, they wouldn't like it in Kuchibashi. They wouldn't like it at all.
Yeah, it'll be quite the culture shock.
We're too harsh for these Pambies over here.
No, it's not even that. It's literally, okay, you're obeying the law over here. No, really, you're obeying the law over here.
Yeah. We don't take uprisings lightly, people. Not over here in Kuchibashi. But yeah, so they ended up he ended up getting Ingrid on the case to deal with that issue, even though Sarush was trying to get Varix to lower taxes. He was like, that's not happening because we can't afford that. So Ingrid dealt with the issue, and he's able to get crushing taxes for, I think, 3 months, right?
Yeah.
The benefits of like crushing taxes. Yeah. He's like a huge boon.
Yeah. But it's nice always to see events where people with massive freaking tax rates have a little bit of pushback to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually have to do something about
it. I did think a lot of the points that were coming out of the advisors, like, these guys don't want to go back into the barren lands. It's like, fuck that. They're getting too comfortable. We need to move back into the barren lands. Yeah, so some of their arguments were very interesting, but hey, he still came out on top, which is good. And then the last event, which was a fun one, So Lyra comes. She is attending to Mara, who has apparently been cut down by some dude who they originally did not know, but we end up finding out his name is I think he when Varix asks him his name, he says it's Azul Longtooth, which is his real name, but he was gonna originally give the name Saren, which I guess is an Oraculi name or something. I don't know. But
I don't know that much about the Oraculi thing, so
yeah, but he was originally gonna give the name Saren, but because Varix is the Ashen one, the Ashen Orc, he gives his real name Zol Longtooth. And he begins questioning him while he cut down Mara. What is going on? He asks if they understand Orkuli culture. Then Varric starts to back off because he was really going to take off his head. And then after, I think they decided to leave Mara on the ground to see if she would recover. She ended up recovering, and she got up. She went to Varix. She told him not to trust Saren because she didn't know who he was. And then Varix called Saren back in, had a long conversation with him. We ended up finding that he's from the Dale Lands and that he definitely should be the new Orc Cooley, is what he was saying. That he's not going to take the easy road the way that Mara was taking for Varix's clan. That if they don't struggle a bit, then they're not trying, basically. and because
so what are you saying? Is Trump card Jake Moore?
Look, I thought it was weird too because I was like, isn't he already struggling?
No, he's got the least. He's got the least economy. It's like, was it the session or was it the session before where Cell was complaining about? No, it was the session because they were talking about lending Lenny and then lending Rayon back to them.
Yep.
Thing is like, no, if I do that, I'm going to drop my economy by 11. It's going to be better than Jake's. There's 2 whole BP. I want my BP.
Yeah, that was definitely this session. Oh man.
Yeah, that's a little bit freaking weird to say. Just it.
Listen, he's now the new Oraculi now, though. Varix is like, hell yeah, hardcore, let's go. Turn on hardcore mode. Fuck this. One thing though, I think it's gonna. Well, I don't know. We'll see if it does, but I think it might bite him in the butt. Is that the warning that the Triaxian gave that there is no longer an Ashen Boar in the Barren Lands and the Ashen Orc is no longer welcome here. He ended up asking Saren about that, and he said that's the prophecy of Triaxians and not to give it any
credence.
Yeah. Any real thought. Yeah, credence. That's the word I was looking for. But yeah, not to give it any real credence. I think we may end up seeing something bad happen.
I mean, of course, you're told to ignore a warning and do it. Naturally, something's going to happen, right?
Well, Mara was supposed to be investigating what that meant. But, you know, now that Mara is not the Oraculi anymore, we will see.
It's going to be so fucking funny if the moment he goes to go roll for that new character and they roll a 1. It'll just be funny because he's going, I'm the better Oraculi, and if he gets a freaking critical failure, like straight off the bat, that is going to be so fucking funny. I'm better. You what? I may as well have just kept the old one.
Well, I think one of the other reasons he didn't keep Mara is because she lost that duel to the death But even though she didn't die, she still lost the duel. So I think he just wanted to stay in with Barrenland culture.
Also, a thing to note is that there was a warning as well about it's coming into wintertime.
Yep.
And tribes in Barrenlands are going to be looking for food wherever they can get it. We also know what else they eat. And we also know who's on the water to them.
Yeah. They're gonna be they're beginning because Ergazog already told them, look, man, it's almost winter and you know what that means. So
yep.
Hopefully hopefully Varix can convince his allies to join him against the Barrenlands again, because that's gonna be needed. Oh man.
Oh, and also we also had a little bit of a warning around about similar sort of time for Nick as well, whereas the way the phase temperament changes in winter.
Yeah.
They're going to be a lot more vicious.
Now is not a good time to be exploring Eldamar. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So yeah. Those two are going to be dealing with a lot more.
Yep. Other than that, we just seen that Tesso went to Shoka. Basically gave
Shoka went to Tesso, I think.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Wasn't it outside of town?
Well, it went to. Well, Shoka got over to Tesso, is the thing. Not.
True.
Otherwise, Tesso would have gone all the way over
to Kuchibachi. Yeah. but Shoka, basically, Shoka and Tesso met somewhere discreet. And Tesso, being the loving parent, ended up giving his person food and suggesting that he goes to the Delllands, and then also giving him basically his personal story about Clan Kohai. Well, so wait, was Tesso originally exiled and then came back?
I don't remember, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't either. But that's what it sounds like. Maybe Tesso was originally
either that or sort of enslaved or something like that in the mines.
Right. Okay. Well, he gave his own story, and Jake was asking, "Is this going to lead to a to a revenge arc for Shoka?" So we'll see.
I think his particular line was kind of telling, though. When comment, kind of telling, which is going to be a big concern with Shadow moving forward, where it's according to Kajinksi tradition, you shouldn't be doing that. Fuck Kajinksi tradition.
Yeah.
Who cares about Kajinksi tradition? Oh, you're going to have so much fun with all the rest of Kajinksi that follows the traditions.
Well, especially
it's trying not to fit in and on the border and working with Paradel and rumors of slavery. Oh, and you also don't give a fuck about their traditions? Okay. There's going to definitely be a lot of questioning his loyalty in the future. I can tell that much.
Yeah. Especially with that little revelation at the end that, hey, their request has been recognized and they are now allowed to join the gala to the north and be recognized by the northern clans for everything they did.
Yeah. That's a great way to word it. That's a real good way to word it. Because it can be either you've done a good job, or we saw the shit you pulled.
Yeah.
Which is what the two Shadow and Varix advisors were discussing could either be. Because the three warlords and Hoko, who's already at the place, and Erothel and Aaliyah from Shadow all met up to discuss the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to need some cash, new clothes. They're going to have to get their affairs in order because the warlords are going to be leaving for potentially a couple of months. And don't know whether or not this is going to be purely for the Zinquin affair or anything else, or
Yeah. Yeah. We don't know what it's about. Aerthel was saying that because of their accomplishments, we'll say in quotes, the northern clans may just be wanting to establish their dominance over the three and make sure that they understand that they are in Lower Kajingsi for a reason.
also to make sure that they understand that they're part of Kijingsi, especially with what Shadow just said moments before that.
Yeah, true. And at the end, I basically wrote that they're expected to bring gifts, and Erethel tells him, well, I think Varix brought up a point like, "Hey, we are from the Barrenlands, and I'm not getting dressed up in Kajingsi bullshit." And he was like, "Yeah, you don't have to. They were expecting you to wear your grandfather's armor. You're the Ashen Orc, so you get a little bit of leeway. The rest of them, though, they gotta get dressed up." So, but he's actually going to be given a horn of the Ashen Boar. We'll see if
there was some resistance to that originally.
yeah. Because I think, and this is the part where I was somewhat confused. He was saying like we could put the plans or the documentation into one of the vaults in the northern areas. Like they were planning on eventually trying to take over the northern clans or something, which is I was a little confused about. But then he brought up the horn, and it was like, yeah, that makes more sense. Just give him a horn.
I mean, if they find out if that was the case, and they found out that,
I mean, that just may be a misunderstanding.
Yeah. But if that did happen, there might be that gala might be a little bit more bloodier than usual.
Yeah.
Kajingsi's red gala or red wedding.
you and this is an important part because now I just remember this part right after we brought up the more bloody thing. One of the reasons that, and I think it's the biggest reason that Varix accepted Saren as the new Oraculi is because Saren was saying instead of killing the Karuk in the Barren Lands, we should be talking with them and trying to recruit them into the clan and making the clan bigger and stronger. Which, yes, if that were to happen, may cause, and if Jake was to give a shit, he could eventually get enough Karuk under him to maybe take over or try to invade another clan to the north. But if that kind of
thing, I think Zinquin's probably made a target of itself. So. He just needs to build more buildings.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that if that's what he's planning on, because they do have some beef with at least one clan to the north, and it didn't seem like anything happened to them.
Could be a good chance to find out. I believe that's pretty much all for Warmonger.
Yep.
So we'll go on to In-Clime, where because Neil's on placement, which is basically like work experience for a couple of weeks, he's not available. And so Cell's popped in to play a sailor, really good sailor over there. I just want to point out that Naga will probably agree with me that when it comes to games where it's those two that we were in the Patreon games between Cell and Scott, it's not uncommon for there to be hours of inventory management, programming, maths. Um, so this might be a typical Cell start to things. I'm just saying.
Oh man.
I'm glad that it's just Naga. They're stuck dealing with that at the moment from the picture games.
Well,
I took freedom as soon as I could.
Oh man. I think Cell having some knowledge about the Barrenlands already is kind of good in character thing, since this character is already supposed to have knowledge about the Barrenlands and have gone over there at least once or twice before. Yeah. Yeah, it was a huge inventory management.
And that's about as much as we're going to say, Scott. We're not going to do this in great detail for you. I told you so. I told you so.
But yeah, Cell is playing Tethys Metahina. He is the navigator of the ship that they were on that is under, I almost said Varix, but his name is Vigo. Under Vigo's command. Under technically Vigo's command, but it's really not because the captain's there. So
yeah, he's just choosing what happens, but the captain runs it. Except right. That Tethys seems to be running it.
Oh man. So they are going down that huge bend with I forget what it's called, but it's right on the border of the Barrenlands. Trying to get to a certain point before they go further on foot, and they come up to a crucial bend that pretty much allow the Corrupt to attack much easier.
There was some failed perception rolls where I could have recognized, they're setting up. Mm-hmm. The Corrupt is setting up. And, well, they're failed rolls. So we ended up with like a chasing skill check sort of situation there.
Yeah, this first one was with the Corrupt just trying to get on the ship, which I think he just had like was it a D100 roll where they were like trying to figure out if they were able to clear their side, or whatever, using the bows and arrows and seeing what they were doing. Where basically Tethys and Galen shot bows, Vigo pretty much hung back trying to provide support, and
got shot the hell out of. I think he was the most heavily injured of the lot of them.
Yeah, he was. He was definitely Tristan apparently took a bit of damage too, but it wasn't nearly as much. I think.
Yeah, I think he took a total of 8 damage, and he basically healed a little bit more than half of that instantly.
Yeah, but Vigo was
not instantly, but yeah. I think Vigo got 13 points or more.
And he's already an alchemist, so he doesn't get a big die roll.
Let's just say there might have been a little bit of a flashback to a certain gnomish alchemist.
Oh man,
I don't know. It's almost like Scott likes turning his alchemists into pincushions.
Quick thing. Tethys, but Cell actually rolled very well this session. I guess it was to make for all that bad luck from Monday night. So
yeah, swings and roundabouts, feast and famine.
Yeah, this was his
basically session. Pissed off the captain with how well he was doing. And I was like, "Yeah, can I go with you guys? Because I think the captain wants to kill me."
Yeah, that was during that second attack, where they actually were doing like the skill challenge stuff, where Scott said in the future they are going to do a lot more skill challenge things rather than just basic combat stuff.
Look, it's the sheer numbers they're dealing with. It'd be rather forceful to just go into combat. But yeah, like the first time was 4 tribes were attacking them, and then the second time was Oh, we didn't perceive and we didn't sense motive very well, and there's these two tribes that are fighting, about 100 strong. Oh, that's cool. Oh, they've stopped fighting. Oh, they've turned this direction.
Yeah. But yep, that's how Tethys joins the crew, is by being better than the captain. And not wanting to swap decks the entire time. This group is going to be gone. But Tristan actually stays behind to assist the people on the boat. So we'll see.
Yeah. Almost a fair trade. Except that I'm still waiting to see how much damage actually Tethys can do, considering as how much Tristan can do.
Oh, right, yeah. Because Tristan does a lot of damage in one hit, and at least Tethys is very good with skill rolls.
So is Vigo. Unfortunately, we've seen Gallon be a tank, and it didn't go very well for him. But that could just be because Scott rolled well. And then they're going to need someone that can either take a hit or do some damage, especially with Tristan now.
But mind you, I said skill rolls, not skill modifiers. So Jake is going to have to roll for good first. Because he's got some modifiers on him. Jake knows how to build a character. It's just, when it comes to rolling and roll 20.
Yeah.
Listen, you can't blame Jake for for how bad his characters does. It's not his fault. It's their fault. It's RNG's fault.
Most of the
time. Oh man. But yeah, that's
sometimes you can blame other forces. Just saying that. Although I haven't hit In-Clime yet. I haven't done anything to In-Clime yet.
Well, yeah, it's you got to wait for a good time, a good point in the action, right? Just when everything is looking up.
And also have the necessary days to do something.
Oh man.
Yeah, I believe that's basically how the concession went, because they just got out of the skill check. And I think they had to,
yeah. If you really care about the management stuff, Tethys, because Cell is playing Tethys, he's holding the most. And Jake, who is playing Vigo, is holding the least. So there you go. There's your inventory.
I mean, this is commanding officer. Of course, the commanding officer is not going to be carrying everything. That's what he has grunts for.
Oh man. I kind of want to know how Cell plays in the Patreon game, because from what I've seen, Cell is willing to like take on the brunt of everything for everyone else. He just willingly gives BP to other nations who need it. He's willing to carry all the equipment.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be a short episode today.
Definitely is. Oh man. But that's gonna be it, everyone. You have anything else you want to say? I know you were saying I know you were complaining about Regicide without spoiling anything.
Well, let's just say there's going to be a lot of people that won't be welcoming Regicide recently. with what Regicide recently did. Yeah, and leave it at that.
There you go. And that is all the sessions that happened this week. I think quick announcement is that in a few weeks, perhaps, I will be transitioning off of the show. I don't know if we're going to continue. It's
I
not due to
can't continue
depression
it,
this time.
so it's
So yeah, if you want the what are they called assets and you want to continue with the show, I am willing to give you those for anybody who wants to do so. Just hit me up in Discord.
yeah, it's between working and everything. I can't, and also not being a tech person, I can't really do it by myself, and I'm running out of time to do things in my own life. So Van's going, I kind of can't stick around either.
Yeah, mine's is more personal stuff, but it's not due to depression this time. So there's that.
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone, thank you for listening. And thank you, Delric, and all the cast members for joining us this week. Hope everyone is doing well and enjoy your week.
Have a good one.